want you to have clarity. We definitely want you to have peace of mind. And we definitely want to give you the tools to be successful. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. And I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome. Thank you, Elaine.
Great evening, everyone. I'm super excited to be here this
Hey,
evening.
Jackie.
Yes, yes. Oh boy, what amazing. Um, you're going to just fly off the charts tonight. I can see excellent success just illuminating from you after tonight. For the next 3 days, a power-packed 3 days. My life has changed through this program. So I know your life will truly be impacted.
Awesome. Thank you, Jackie. Elaine. Okay, let's grab one more person before we start roll our sleeves up and get ready to get to work.
Great evening,
Hi, good
everyone.
night, everyone.
Hey, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle Griffith coming to you from Brooklyn, New York. I'm just so happy to be excited here. I can feel the energy already in the room. My heart is pounding because I know something great is coming. So I'm just happy to be here. Welcome, everybody.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much, Michelle. Well, once again, I want to say welcome and congratulations. You're up for an amazing ride. First thing we're going to do tonight, we're going to ask you to kind of shed anything that's on your mind and open your space to be able to work, to be able to create something different. First off, I'm going to ask you, what is the goal that you want to work with during the next 3 days that you're here? So we're going to create some clarity. Just choose one specific goal that you want to work on, whether it's a 90-day goal or a 6 months goal, but find a goal that you want to work on right away. Just one. Can't be two, can't be three, can't be four, can't be five. We got to get some clarity up in here. One goal. What do you want to accomplish within the next 90 days? What do you want to accomplish within the next 6 months? You have a big goal, pull it back and see, okay, what can I do in the next 3 months to be on the path to making this goal become a reality? Okay. Now, some of you may have set this goal already at some other time in your life, and you were told never let go of your goal. You can change the date, but don't let go of the goal. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is what's the first thing that happens when you write a goal down? We're going to examine that. Most people, when they write a goal down or they decide on a goal, they have a tug of war going on in their mind instantly. How many of you been there? Just a serious tug of war. And it's saying over here, you want this and you're excited. And another thing over here is kind of contradicting it and asking you all kinds of questions. Like, how are you going to get this done? Who do you know? Anybody with that? We want to hear from somebody. It's very interactive these 3 days. Anybody wants to share on that? When you wrote your goals down, what were some of the things that came up?
Hi, great evening.
Grady,
Uh,
Maxine.
I'm Maxine from Mount Vernon. Um, Writing a goal down is to pull in people into the business or to sell.
Any
And then
goal,
when
your
you,
personal goal, any personal goal that you have, it can be your personal goal or it can be a professional goal.
well, bravery.
Okay, so that's an adjective you're using to describe
Boldness.
what needs to happen. You feel like, you're about to become brave, or you set the goal and instantly you think, gosh, I've got to be brave to get this done. All right, anybody
Yes.
else? Thank you,
Thank
Maxine.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
well, for me, the first thing that happened is when I started focusing on my goal is um, can you really do that? Are you really going to be successful? I also, some people told me they didn't think that that was something that I should do. That's just something that happened with me.
Okay, great. So I want you to pause for a moment and get real with what happens whenever you write a goal and know that it's normal. When you write your goal down, the first thing that's going to come is the level of excitement for accomplishing this goal. But then following that, the goal starts asking you some questions, and we misread these. So your goal is going to ask you some key questions that will cause you to make the goal happen. The average person, though, sees it as I can't make it happen. So your goal is asking, let's take, for instance, Michelle, who people are saying, can you make that happen? The goal is saying to her, are you willing to follow your goal or follow the direction of what you're hearing from other people? So carefully where we're going. The other thing that may come up is that, do you know anyone? Those of you who are recruiters and are looking to build teams, it may say, but you have not recruited over a period of time. Why do you think you're going to get to this goal now? What your goal is saying to you is, in order to make this goal possible, you're going to have to sharpen your recruiting skills. Y'all get it? Your goal may say to you, you don't have the money. What it's saying, in order to make, it's not saying the goal is impossible. It's saying, in order to make this goal happen, you're going to need to believe that you can create the funds to cause the goal to happen. Still with me? Okay. With that said, I'm going to ask one more person. When you wrote your goals down, what were some of the things that jumped out at you? Both the positive and the not so positive.
Well,
I
I'll say
second
this,
comment. Okay,
I'll
go.
say this. Who said that?
me.
Who's that?
Um,
Who's
I
me?
just did my name is Michaela
Where's Michaela?
Drummond.
Okay, there's Michaela. Mm-hmm.
Yes. From Brooklyn, New York. And in the next 90 days, I want to try and go on Facebook Live at least once a week. So I actually just finished two in the past 3 weeks. So I feel like I'm getting into the rhythm of it. That's
Mm-hmm.
one positive. And one negative is, am I going to be able to maintain
Consistency.
that
Okay.
goal?
All right, good. So did you get, based on what your goal is saying to you, is that somewhere inside of you, you're thinking, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep that up. So the goal immediately asks you, and you can hear it by how the goal is said. I'm going to share something with you right here, and then we're going to dive deeper. You said, I'm going to try and go on. The word try is causing you to doubt whether or not you'll be able to do it every single day, because that's also an affirmation. Try and try, try. So we will change that. Our belief system there would shift to I will, I
I will.
am. I am on
I
Facebook
am.
every day. I'm doing a live on Facebook every day. I wake up every morning to do a live on Facebook. So those are your backstage questions. There are things that are there that are hindering the progress of your goal, and it's located somewhere in your thinking.
I will go live weekly on Facebook.
Okay, and we're going to try another one. I go live every week on Facebook. Try that on.
I go live every week on Facebook.
How does that feel?
Smooth.
Okay, I'll try and go on Facebook. How does that feel?
No effort.
Okay, I will go on Facebook. How does that feel?
Mm, more
Easy.
consistent. I will go live weekly on Facebook. Yeah.
I am live on Facebook every week. How does that feel?
I'm into it. Yeah, I am.
Okay. And that's a difference with some of the goals that we set that we don't accomplish versus the ones that we do. Now, in the setting of a goal, there's something that also comes up, your internal belief system. Now we're going to talk about some what. So what I want, you have already written down, it's your goal. There are certain goals that will never move you forward. They'll always keep you there. And people wonder why they get stuck. We all wondered why we get stuck and can't figure out why it is. We're working harder. I'm a very good example of that. So we completed great years in Mary Kay, and then we get to a juncture where we just felt like nothing was happening. And so I'm pushing, I'm working twice as hard. I'm beating the streets literally. I'm pushing, I'm working to make it happen. And then nothing happens. What is going on there? Let's talk about that. Now, force negates. So anytime you start forcing something, the vibrational energy of the force shifts it away from you because of the tension that's associated with it. So once you start pushing and forcing things, you may get forward, but it's going to bounce right back because of the force that it's in. So it must happen naturally for you. In order for things to happen naturally, you have to be the person. So it's not the activities that is causing the problem. What is causing the problem is when you're forcing, you're not accepting the fact that you already have the thing. I am on Facebook every week. It feels soft, it's with ease, it feels graceful. I'll try to be on Facebook. The energy from that is I'll try to be on Facebook. It's trapped in some other feelings and thoughts. And what we think always brings about a feeling. And if the feeling is not with ease and grace, the vibration is tension. And so the results will reflect that. All right. Another reason why goals don't get accomplished is because the goal is not big enough. So here you are, you set a goal. It's something that you've always done. You know how to sell $300 a week. You can close your eyes and do it. And then you set a goal. Okay, my goal is to sell $300 a week. It keeps you in the same spot, doing the same activities in the same way, getting the same results. So if you intend to move to another level of success, then you cannot set goals that you have set before and are capable of doing because they're going to call for the same character traits, the same level of energy, the same people, the same circumstance. And once you are in sameness, you're going to get the same results. So it's the same person doing the same thing, expecting a different result. What it said about insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting to get a different result. So if it's the same person and the person has not changed, then that becomes self-deception. So the person has to change. Hence, personal development is so vital to our success. That's why it said mindset, 95% of your success is going to be based on your mindset, your personal development, the difference you are, the different person you are, the different identity that you have maintained or you have changed to. If you're being the same person, you'll always get the same results. Got to change you. Question is, how do I do that? Okay, another reason why our goals don't get accomplished. Goals don't get accomplished because you said it just a little above where if I can fix this and shift that, and if this moves here, and if that person, and if the kids are out of school, and if that's out of that, then I can make this happen. Okay, so what you're going to have, you'll have an increase in your productivity, yes. Will you have a shift in your identity? No. It's doing more of the same thing. So the productivity will increase, but the person remains the same. Everything remains the same. Now, how do you have quantum leaps in your life? Remember that your goal should not be borrowed, begged, steal, or leased. A lot of times people are looking for you to accomplish something in what they think you're working on. And so they judge your success based on what they think you should have been working on. All right. So somebody may think that, okay, maybe somebody thinks that this is what I want, but it's not really what you want. You're working on something. And so you are the only person who can decide your goal. You're the only person who can decide your goal. You're the only person who can decide your goal. You are the only person that can decide your goal. You cannot borrow it. You cannot copy it, you cannot steal it, you cannot rent it. Why? Because you have to live with the goal. And you're going to live with that goal for your life because it's what's going to grow you. A goal is meant to grow you. Write that down for me. A goal is meant to grow you. It's not meant to keep you where you are. It's not meant to move you a little. It's meant to grow you in a big way. So when you write your goals down, I'm going to ask you one other question in regards to goals. Question I'm asking you is this. When you write your goal down, does it make you feel, when you look at the goal, does it look like mastery? Does it look like record breaking? Does it look like average? Does it look like growth? Does it look like maintenance? What does your goal look like when you put it on paper? Does it look like maintenance? Does it look like growth? Does it look like mastery? Does it look like world class? Does it look like iconic? What does your goal look like on paper? Because whatever it looks and feels like, that's what's going to show up in your life. So if you set a goal that I want to sell $50 a week, ask yourself, is this a goal that is iconic? Is this mastery of the industry that I'm in? And if it's not, then it's time to change that goal. Okay. Every physical thing, let me share my screen with you. Every physical thing, whether for you or against you, was a sustained thought before it was a thing. Everything that you physically hold in your hand, you once held in your mind. So your home that you're in, you held it in your mind first. Then you brought it to life. So you knew that you had that house before everybody else did. You're the one who saw it. You saw the bedrooms. You saw the floor. You saw the refrigerator. You saw whether or not you're going to have marble tiles. You saw whether or not your countertop was going to be granite. You saw the bathroom. You saw the bed. You held it in your mind first. Hold that thought. The chair you're sitting on, somebody held it in their mind first, and then it came to life. And then somebody saw the single chair and thought, oh my goodness, what if my husband and I could sit in the same chair? So they built on it and it became a love seat. And somebody said, what if I could sit at my desk and kind of have a swivel chair? And they created that. All of that was in their mind at first. It was a thought. A thought held long enough with feeling is going to show up whether it's good, not so good, or indifferent. Therefore, the thoughts you dwell upon becomes the things you possess. Nobody likes to hear that because you have some things that you don't like, but you brought them to you. Regardless of which way you want to swing it, it was something that you internalize. How do things come about? How does your goal come about? All right. Now let's take a look at this piece. Thomas Truett said this. Your mind is a center. I love when other people read. Could somebody help me with that?
My mind is the center of divine operation. The divine operation is always for expansion and fuller expression. And this means the production of something beyond what has gone before, something entirely new, not included in experience, though proceeding out of it by an orderly sequence of growth. Therefore, since the divine cannot change its inherent nature, it must operate in the same manner in me. Consequently, in my special world of which I am the center, It will move forward to produce new conditions, always in advance of any that have gone before. Thomas Troward.
Okay. So thank you so very much, Michaela. Your mind is a center of divine operation. What it's basically saying to you that whatever you have done before, you were wired to do greater. Y- You're wired to do greater, to build on what you currently have. When a child is born, that child will creep, will start walking, start running, and then they're taller than you, right? But that's the growth process. And humans, we're all born and designed to grow. We were never designed to be stagnant. Never. It was never designed for us to be stagnant. Now, what is it that causes us to be stagnant? What is it that causes us to be stagnant? Let's take a look at what we are faced with throughout life, or some of the things that we get to experience that literally coins the results that we get. And this is the why. Why is it that I have this goal? I know why I want it. I am passionate about it. I know it's going to make a difference for me. I know it's going to make a difference for my family. I am positive it's going to make a difference for the community. And then I don't do it. I write it down at the beginning of the year. I'm super excited. And in the middle, I start wobbling. What is it that causes that to happen? Or somewhere in the middle, you say, oh, maybe that wasn't what God wanted for me. Really? You decided what the goal was. You knew what you wanted. You know the impact it would have on your life. We know how it would impact the world. And somewhere in the middle, all of it just starts falling apart. And then we start settling for whatever. What is it? Remember now that this has to be your goal. I'm not telling you to go after a goal that somebody else wants for you. It's your goal. You have decided on it. Why do I want it? Why is this goal important to me? How will it impact my life? How will it impact my family's life? How will it impact community? And I came up with all the right answers. And somehow I just can't seem to get past the same old, same activities, same excuses, same ideas. What is the missing? So we're going to talk about that for a moment. We are wired to grow. We know that. How did we come up with behaviors that cause us not to do what we ought to do? We know what we ought to do, but then we have behaviors that we're conditioned with over a period of time, and they're wired into our being that they operate us rather than our free will. We don't think anymore. We get up and we eat the same food, we go to the same restaurants, we do the same thing over and over again, and we don't question, why is it that I keep doing the same thing, getting the same results? So we have a group of habits that we call our paradigms. So I'm going to ask you to grab a pen and paper. We're going to really talk about this because it is one thing that blocks everything. And your paradigms are a group of ideas and beliefs that you inherited, whether it's you inherited in the early stages of your life as a child, or you inherited them from school behavior patterns that you learned from your friends, or from experiences that you've had that you draw a line in the sand that I'll never do that again, or I'll never go there, I'll never, but you draw a line. Those are experiences, or it's the media that you gathered some information from and you hold those information dear to you. And so you filter everything through those lenses and ultimately end up at the same place all the time. So I often say to people, if you've ever heard the story about the ham, where the little girl asked her mother, Mom, why did you cut the ham off at the tip? Have you ever heard that story? Anybody?
Mhm.
Yes. And the mother didn't know why. And so she asked her to ask her grandmother, and she didn't know why. And she asked another senior member of the family, and they didn't know why. So they said, ask great great grandma. Grandma said, by the time in the days then when we had ham, the pots were when we were eating ham or we had ham, the pots were small. We didn't have large pots, so they had to cut it off for it to hold in the pot. And it's decades later when pots can be as big as your house, literally. And we're still chopping off the ham. And that is exactly what happens with our paradigm. We have these beliefs. Your teacher told you that you will never be good in math. Where is Michelle? Or somebody told you that your nose is big. And then for that moment, you just thought you were ugly and you started believing it and you started acting like it. And then it became a part of who you are. And then you start surrounding yourself with people who were just like that. And ultimately, you lived your whole life. But that script has ran out. The garments are old and you don't need them anymore. Maybe you need them then. You know, when your parents used to say you must be seen and not heard, and now you're in meetings and want to give your opinion, and you're in the meeting with your hand ready to go up and it can't move because you still have on the garment that your parent gave you when they said you must be seen and not be heard when there are conversations with adults around. Those are all costumes we wear, and we fit these costumes on, and we carry them throughout our entire life, even when we need to let go of those costumes. The backstage stories that we tell ourselves, I want to be a sales director, but gosh, I don't know if I can lead anybody. We learn to lead every single day, so it's not a true story. But we have on the costume and we're wearing it, and it's fitting and it's choking us and it's tight and it's we're busting out of it, but we still hold on to it and we use it to make the decisions that we need to make to cause or to prevent the decisions that we need to make to cause the goals that we just wrote on paper to become a reality. And so now you're called to let go of all those limiting beliefs. And we're going to run through the feed for a moment. And there's some of you that knows those beliefs that you have around your self-image. I'm not good enough. Can I really be that? Really? You can do anything you want, but you first have to believe it. Let's run through some of those limiting beliefs and let's try to smash some of them tonight and then move to the next area. What is a belief that you're holding that makes you less apt to take action? Lisa, you're muted if you're talking.
I guess for me, one of the things that keeps me back from doing some of the things that I want to do is that, always being told that things that happen, certain things are private and not meant to be shared with the world.
Oh,
So that is one thing that has kept me back from doing some of the stuff that I wanted to do.
okay. So you have this belief that was you inherited from someone. And let me say this, when we're talking about belief system, remember the person who gave you that belief, they liked you a lot, but they had their own insecurities. They had their own weaknesses, their own fears, and they have settled at some point because of that very same thing. And so for you to avoid the pain that they felt, they think it was necessary to hand it over to you. Okay, so if you're going after something, we just did a book on the tapestry within, and some of our or some of the authors talked about what affected them in their lives. And the moment they wrote it out completely out of themselves, their productivity just started moving in a different direction. Because it's a burden to carry those things and then bust through it to be excellent and great when you're running with a baggage on your back of what somebody else did you or what this other thing happened or Whatever it is, if you free yourself, it is fall. Let go of it all. Let go of it all. The people, the shame, the shame, the blame, all of that stuff, they're just baggages that prevent us from being our best self. And as soon as we shed them, then we can move beyond that. How do you do that? You write them out of you. Take them out, put them on paper, burn them, release yourself from it, and move forward. Rewrite your script. Rewrite your script. The script that you have, no one told you you have to keep it. You don't have to keep that script that you have that's giving you the results that you can always rewrite that script. Rewrite your script for what you actually want, not what you do not want. Thank you, Michelle, for sharing that. Then there is I have come across, especially within our community, is money paradigms. I don't have. It's contagious and it blocks every good that you want in your life, which leads us to the point of making decisions. When you make decisions, decisions are never made with the money that you don't have. I don't have this, so I can't. Let's go back to what goals are. Goals are meant to grow you. The very fact you got the goal is a place for you to grow. And until you stretch beyond what you already have, you'll always only have what you already have. Until you stretch beyond what you already have, you will only have what you already have, which is staying stuck. So you're going to find yourself in situations where you're going to need to pull yourself out of that situation to create something bigger. The moment you reach higher, something magical happens. And I'm going to ask some of our leads in here to talk about the vibrational energy that's attached to making a different decision and how that affected you.
So I'll share, and it happened today, so it's really good to be able to share that. Um, I was last night. I was anticipating an event that was expected to happen today, and I found butterflies in my stomach, and I woke up and my stomach was uneasy, and as I thought about it, I said, "There's nothing wrong with your stomach. There's something wrong with your head." and and really I had to think a new thought, and I sat down and I sent love to that thing. And as I was writing it out, and not sending my head but actually writing it out on paper, I started sending love to the situation, sending love to the individual.
Mm.
And by the time I finished writing, I was feeling much better. And as I was on my way to work, it just completely lifted. And can I share that today was quiet? It was uneventful. Nothing happened. And it was making that decision in the morning day. So I just want to encourage you. What we say and then becoming emotionally involved with it, seeing the end, seeing the win at the end truly makes a huge difference. So I just wanted to share that because it
Awesome.
works. It works.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Elaine. We're going to do that for you. Draw it on a whiteboard. You'll be tempted to write on the whiteboard. I know. Okay. All right. So we're going to share with you what that looks like. You have your goal. You're passionate about it. You know why you want it. You know what the results will bring to your life. And somehow this goal ain't happening. Now your goal is right here. Okay. Everything that you know right now is right on where your goal lies. So all your thoughts are in line with your goal. They're in harmony with it. That's why you have it. That's why anything you have right now, you're in harmony with it. You're in alignment with it. You and that thing is aligned. Now, here is your goal. This new goal that you wrote down today is here. But I'm going to ask you if you could, I know it happens every time somebody's drawing on the board. And I don't know how to, I have to figure out how to not cause that to happen. Okay, alrighty. So here we are. Your goal is right here. You are right here. How do you move from here to the goal? All right, so in between it, it's all the levels that you go through in order to get to the goal. Now, some people think that this could take decades, and it's not true. In order to get to the goal, you just personally need to be in alignment with the goal where it resides. So you and I, my friend, have to move yourself from here physically. Okay, we're seeing that happen. You got to move yourself from here physically and then get here. The problem is if you're thinking the same way you think here, that thinking cannot get you here. So something has to change. And that thing is first what you're thinking. So you first have to change the way you think. Wayne Dyer says, when you change the way you see something, the thing you're looking at changes. So you now have to change your mind about being here and really start thinking a new thought. When you start thinking that new thought, everything, let me put the goal up here, that is in alignment with that goal, the thoughts that are in alignment with it cause the goal to happen. You cannot say that I want this or I need this, and you're thinking, I don't have this. You cannot say, I am successful, and then turn around and tell somebody, I don't have $1 in my account. You might not have $1 in your account, but you are wealthy. You have a wealthy mindset. You got to think it. So when your goal resides here, you got to move your thoughts, your actions, and your beliefs from here to where the goal resides. And that's also how you make decisions. You don't make decisions that, I want to be a sales director, but all the decisions that you're making are directly in alignment with being a consultant. You cannot say you want to be a top director and every decision you make is in alignment with being an average sales director. The person has to change. And when the person changes, all the circumstances around them shifts to match the way they are thinking. If you say you want something, you got to be the thing you say you want to be. I'll repeat. If I say I want something, I have to become the person that has the thing already in my mind. I cannot want it. I have to be it. Be, do, have. Got to be it first. And if you're being it, you can't complain. I don't have any, you have to ask yourself when you wake up in the morning, now that I am a sales director for some of our consultants now that I'm a sales director, what does a sales director do today? You know, now that I am wealthy, how would a wealthy person think? What would a wealthy person do? How would a wealthy person act? And then you have to step into the role and do, act, and be what you say you want to be. Step into the role and be who you say you want to be. Dress the part, act the part, talk the part, walk the part. But you got to step into the role. As long as you're looking at it, it ain't coming. You'll be looking at it like you're watching it from a movie. You're sitting in the audience, in the theater, your seat is on, you're eating your popcorn and you're watching it on the screen. No, you got to be in the movie. You got to act all of it. And I say this, that you're in an audition. Life is an audition, always an audition. You're auditioning every day. You're auditioning for your goals. You're auditioning for everything. You got to be acting in it. can't be looking at it, can't be wanting it, can't be trying it. You got to act in it, become it, let it become totally aligned. And that's when ease happens. That's when we start pushing. That's when we stop forcing. We are it. We are. You got to be it. Be it. So when you're manifesting things, when you're manifesting, you need clarity on the goal. Your goal is going to call you out and it's going to tell you exactly what it needs to make it happen. It's not telling you you can't have it because it's saying this is one of the areas you're going to need to work in order to make your goal a reality. It's not saying you can't have it. Oh, you don't know anyone. Oh, it's saying to you, right now you have the belief in you that you don't know anyone. You're going to have to change that belief to the fact that there are people everywhere and everybody wants to join my team. You got to change that first and foremost. Then you have to set the intention. And when you make a decision, it must be a committed decision. You can't wobble over it. You can't change your mind. You can't make a decision and then work adversely to the decision that you made. It has to be a sound, committed decision. Then you must visualize the goal. Visualizing the goal means that you're seeing it in technicolors and you're feeling into it as well. So you're seeing it, you're feeling it. We had Jackie who within 4 months that she started doing TIR purchase her home, Jackie White. And Jackie saw the house. She saw everything in there. She named the rooms from the Golden Girls. She had Blanche. She named them by the Golden Girls. She went out not having any money to do it. And we're going to ask you to take this idea and bring it into your own goal. She got the real estate agent. She went, she looked at the house, didn't have the money for it. And a lot of times, most of us say, I don't have the money, so you don't even get started. You get started without it. That will show up in its time. Don't worry about that. You go work on the idea that you have. Just focus on that. So she did that. The house that she walked in, she said she walked in the yard, and when she walked in, she said, "This is it." She felt it like this is my home. And after she left, a couple of days later, the realtor called her and say somebody has the house. Somebody already um got the house. Couple of days she came into one of the events and we're talking about it, and I said, "Is it your house?" She said, "Yes, it's my house." I said, "So it's your house. Live in there. Make sure Blanche is in there. Make sure Dorothy's in there." And she did just that. A couple of days after, the realtor called her and said the person who bid on the house, it fell through. Of course it would. It's her house. One moment. It fell through. It's her house. 4 months later, she was in the house, dressed Blanche and Dorothy and all of them in the house, and she's now living there. She still says, "I cannot believe that it happened." What do you think happened here? What do you think happened? The power of belief and your own manifestation. When you're aligned with what you want, it will show up. If I'm not in alignment with a goal that I set for myself, it's not going to show up. So visualize every aspect of it. This is what I want. And you don't look back. You don't look back. You don't pull the goal out of the earth like you plant something and you pull it out of the soil and check it. Okay, is it growing? Or you look on the scoreboard. Oh, I'm not there. It don't look like it's going to happen. No, 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 no. That's not how it works. Because every time you pull that thing out, you then have to replant it. You make a committed decision that this is what your desire is, and you live in that decision. How do you live there? So if you're saying that this is going to be my best year ever, you basically decide that what are you going to do if it were your best year ever? And this is where we're going to pause and have you do that. What would you be doing? What's the first thing you would do if it's your best year ever? First thing I would do is gather all my friends and have a all white party. Or I'll take a couple of my friends to the restaurant and eat the finest meal. Well, here's the deal. You don't wait for that to happen. You do it now. You got to live in it right now. Go out, gather your friends. Come on out. We're going to celebrate my best year ever. and you go to that restaurant and you experience it now. Don't wait for the end of 2026 when you're going to operate as if the thing has already happened. Why is that important? Scientifically, you need to connect your brain, the neural pathways of your brain, to the idea that this thing is already done. And if you did not connect it, it's not done. So you got to connect that. And the only way to connect it is to experience it in the now. Got to experience it right now, not 2026 December. You make the decision, make a committed decision, and then experience it in the now. Okay, that's tonight. So we're going to pick up on some things tomorrow. We're going to dive a little deeper on how to feel into the idea of your goal already being accomplished, how to take inspired action on that, and then how to really manifest your goals. But we're going to have you do something very simple to show you how this works. So during tomorrow, when you're up and about, we want you to look, whatever you're looking for is looking for you. We want you to look and for something that's related to your goal. So if your desire is, okay, I want to be able to, I would have tell you to just look for some red chucks and you're going to notice them everywhere. If I tell you to look for pink Cadillacs, you're going to see a couple tomorrow out of nowhere, they're going to show up. Whatever you're looking for and you're adamantly looking for it, you will find it. So I'm going to ask you to look for breadcrumbs. What I mean by that is anything that says that my goal, anything that would lead to that goal, the little things that leads to that goal, the little things that leads to that goal. All right. We're going to open up and take some questions from you, and then we're going to wrap it up. We're right there.
Hi.
Okay.
Can you
Who's
hear me?
who's
Yeah,
that?
this is Jennifer. Can you hear me
Jennifer.
clearly?
Okay. Hi, Jen. Mm-hmm.
I don't have a question. I just want to say I'm thankful for being here this evening. It has been a while since I've been on a platform like this, and every sentence, every thought brings back memories, and it has really helped me to understand um, clearer and to be getting back on track as to what is important and not negotiate with my goals, but to set it and just live in it. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for this forum.
Beautiful. I love how you said that. Don't negotiate your goal. Don't negotiate your goal. Thank you, Jen. Anyone else? I'll be calling you out. I'll call names. So if you know you need to say something, go ahead and do that. That's a part of the process of just releasing some beliefs from yourself. Is what I'm going to ask, is it going to make sense? Of course it will. And you're going to ask it and somebody else wanted to. So just know, free yourself, in other words. Just allow yourself to freedom. Who's next?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening,
This
Rita.
is Rita. Yes. Can we just go over the definition of paradigm?
Okay. Paradigm are a group of habits and
Yeah.
behaviors that we have wired into our minds and our bodies. It's like a computer that has a hard drive that a program. The computer is fully programmed. We are programmed. And and these habits and behaviors program us to act a certain way, to do certain things, and to do them consistently, even if they don't help us to get anywhere. We just are wired to keep doing them. We'll show you how to get rid of those. It's the cause of everything. It's the cause of your results. It's your self-image. It will determine your self-image. It will determine your money. It determines everything. Anyone else? Okay, Lisa. I can read minds. They didn't tell you? Okay, open your line. Lisa Rodney, still muted. If anyone else want to jump in the meantime,
Great
okay.
evening. Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you, Lisa.
Okay, I see what the problem was. So I I'm gathering up my thoughts, and looking through what I need to do. I'm here in the hospital. I'm kind of earlier when I got distracted, but I wrote down whatever I can wrote down. So tomorrow I will be focused, more focused.
Okay, not a
But
problem.
I'm in it. I'm here. I wrote down some of my notes and hold on, let me go back to my notes. All right. Now that I am a sales director, what was the next word you say that to step into the role, see
Step right
myself?
into the role.
Okay, okay.
As the moment you make the decision that my goal is to be a sales director, you relinquish every other title. You don't care what your friends say, you don't care what anybody around you say, dress like one, walk like one, talk like one, and associate with directors. Leave the consultantship behind and move into the role of a sales director. When you get there, all things, all dormant forces and faculties will come alive to join you where you are. As long as you stay there, all forces that are there will join you there. But the minute you move and deliberately make a committed decision that this is who I am, then everything that you need for that will show up. All the excuses that you had before will fade away. They're like old garments just falling off of you because you'll be so committed to your goal, your frequency starts aligned with all things associated with the position that you want.
Okay, thank you.
Let
Appreciate
go of consultantship. Let it go.
it. Thank
Let
you.
it go.
Thank you.
Leave it for somebody else. Recruit some folks to put in that position, but move away from it as far as you possibly can so you don't have to deal with the things that you don't want right now. You want directorship, right? That's
Yeah.
where you go. Reside there. Live there.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate it.
Hmm. Okay. We're all done. We had 9:26. We have 4 minutes more to go, but I want you to get back here tomorrow for something a lot deeper. Okay, go ahead, Jackie. Alfred.
Oh,
You're
this is so
muted.
good. Yes, I just noticed. I was just excited. So I can't wait, to see the growth because I know there's a lot coming. Because whatever you set your mind to do and you believe it, and we go back to praxis when faith and belief match,
Matches.
you're unstoppable. And you have to believe. And you can say anything you want, but if you don't believe, it doesn't happen. And if we can really get that ingrained in us, we would be unstoppable.
That's
If we
right.
ingrain it, really, really, really believe it, that, it's like anything else. So
That's
I
right.
just pray that we believe in what we want and really go after it with guns drawn. It's ours.
That's right. Thank you, Jackie. The moment you start finding things that are not happening, you have relinquished your position. When you say, this is what I want, and you step in that role, you don't see the obstacles. You start looking for ways to create it. You start looking for ways you align with the goal. All right, we're right there. So here is your assignment. Outside of the fact that you're looking for that, that's easy. But the part that I want you to do is to script. When you're ready for an audition, or you're ready to hit the runway, or the plane is ready to take off, there is something that happens. You have to do some checks. However, when you're auditioning for your own role in life, you need to have a script. So nobody goes on stage without having written a clear description of what it is that they were going to say if they're in a movie. And if you are writing the movie of your life, you got to write the script for it. You cannot just let it fall in default. Whatever happens, I'll just wing it. You want to tonight pause for a moment and ask yourself this question: what do I want? And you're going to take pen and paper and write out in detail exactly what you want for your life. What do you want? What do you want? What do you personally want? Why is it important to you? Why is it important to you? How do you want to live? How do you want to shop? Do you want to look at a garment that you absolutely love and say, oh, I don't have the money for that one, but that's what you really like, and so you settle for something else? What do you really, 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 really want? As long as you don't write it out, it's a bunch of stuff in your mind. Write it out with clarity. This is what I want. This is how I want to live. This is how I want to be transported. This is the kind of income I want. This is what I want to do for my family. This is, and if that's not yet written, my friends, you have been winging it. You don't wing going to leadership, right? You know exactly which hotel you're going to stay at. You know which plane you're taking. You know some of you even know your seats already. But if I ask you, what do you want for your life? Oh, you know what? I think I want to, have a lifestyle. What does a lifestyle look like? Write it out. It is so worth it. It's something that is much more valuable than spending 10 days working. If you just write it out, then you'll know what you're looking for. And if you don't have an image in your mind, gotta have an image. If you don't have an image, then what you have is a bunch of little pictures all over the place, and they're not in any order. And so you don't have any clarity as to exactly the path that you're taking. Write it out. We've come to the close of our call. It's at 9:30. I'll see you tomorrow evening. Grab your script, send us a text, share with your director that you have written out your script and what it feels like. Share with her exactly what it's saying. And tomorrow night, we're going to hear some of you really tell us what it has done for you just by writing that script, what it will do for you internally and externally. Have a great night. We love you.
Good night, everyone.